Tonight on ABC News Live Prime, the new surveillance and body camera videos just released from the deadly shooting at an In-N-Out restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho. One new video showing the moment the gunman kills the first of his 3 victims by firing through the drive-up window. Other videos also showing the heroic actions of bystanders that police say likely saved lives. Also breaking tonight, President Trump hit with another legal setback, an appeals court ordering a halt to the construction of his $400 million White House ballroom. The president already vowing to appeal to the Supreme Court.
I'll have more about what those judges say in this blistering ruling as President Trump now plans to take this all the way to the high court.
The dangerous international rescue mission in complete darkness and extreme cold to save an American expeditioner suffering a medical emergency in Antarctica. A blockbuster ruling against Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. A judge ordering the social media giant to pay more than $500 million for harming children's mental health. And finally, our Ashin Singh brings us what couples are calling sleep divorce, choosing separate bedrooms because one partner snores or a night owl wishes to fly the coop from the morning lark.
I got home late because I went out with some friends. Didn't have to sneak into my room because he's not in here. He's in his room.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is Prime with Lindsay Davis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stephanie Ramos in for Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We begin tonight with the chilling new videos of a deadly mass shooting as it unfolded. And we do want to warn you, it is difficult to watch. Body-worn camera and surveillance footage shows the gunman as he pursues his victims at an In-N-Out burger restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho on Saturday, as well as the heroic acts of strangers and off-duty officers who tried to stop him in his path.
As soon as some rounds started coming at him, everything changed. Immediately, all that bravado he had immediately crumbled.
Police say the gunman fired first from his car into the drive-through window, killing an employee. And for the first time, we see the panic inside the restaurant as employees scramble to take cover, shielding one another, an off-duty officer ushering people to safety. In all, the gunman shot 10 people, killing 3. Police arrived within minutes, hunting the suspect down with guns drawn, the suspect then taking his own life. Trevor Alt has been covering this story from the beginning and leads us off.
Tonight's surveillance and body camera footage shows the chaos and the heroism during that horrific mass shooting at an In-N-Out burger in Twin Falls, Idaho. Video shows the gunman Saturday in the drive-thru, firing from his car into the window, killing a worker inside. He then steps out and shoots a person in the car in front of him. Former Twin Falls police officer Austin James is seen running toward the gunfire, drawing his weapon. He too was shot. The gunman then calmly returns to the window, firing until his gun jams. Terrified workers scrambling away, led by an off-duty state trooper inside. The trooper and the suspect then exchanging gunfire. Armed civilian Jordan Salinas also fired shots at the gunman.
As soon as some rounds started coming at him, everything changed.
Authorities say they pushed the suspect away from the restaurant toward a Tesla charging station, where he then shot and killed Dale Schultz and wounded his wife, Renette. He then went inside the Twin Falls Visitor Center gift shop. You can see these employees crouching as he goes the other way. And outside, a brave worker distracting the shooter, buying time for his co-workers to run for their lives.
To that young man, you are a hero. Your courage, your composure, your selflessness, in that moment likely gave others the time they needed to escape harm.
Authorities then closing in, tracking the suspect to a nearby construction site. Officers with their guns drawn.
Hey, show me your hands!
The shooter dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators say he shot 10 people. 3 of them were killed.
Our hearts are with every victim and family that are now carrying the weight of this tragedy.
So awful. And Trevor Alt joins us now. Trevor, are officials saying anything about the suspect's motive at this point?
So the motive, Steph, we are told is still unclear. This investigation remains ongoing, and we have heard that of those 7 people who were injured, 2 of them remain in critical condition, but several of them have been treated and released. And we also did just receive a few moments ago a statement from that In-N-Out planning to reopen. In fact, they have now reopened there in Twin Falls, but especially they were talking about just how grateful they are for all of the agencies and all of the bystanders, something that we heard from law enforcement too, how many people bravely took action to protect others in all that chaos. Stephanie?
They certainly did. All right, Trevor, thank you so much. An appeals court hit President Trump with another legal setback today, ordering a stop to the construction of his $400 million White House ballroom. The president is already vowing to appeal to the Supreme Court. Here's senior political correspondent Rachel Scott.
Tonight, President Trump taking his fight for a White House ballroom to the Supreme Court after a federal appeals court ruled construction must stop unless he obtains congressional approval. In a blistering 2-to-1 rebuke, the majority writing, each president is a temporary tenant, not the owner of the White House and its executive residence. Adding, whether or not a massive ballroom should be constructed is for Congress to decide and is not a matter of executive self-help. The president has already demolished the East Wing to make room for the $400 million ballroom. Construction has been underway for 10 months.
This ballroom is going to be something that's so beautiful for the city, so desperately needed by presidents.
President Trump calling the decision unjust, saying it must be overturned by the Supreme Court in its entirety. It's the second time this week the president's renovations have faced pushback. The National Park Service finding his proposed 250-foot triumphal arch would obstruct the view of dozens of historical sites, including the Lincoln Memorial, where crews have been working to repair the iconic reflecting pool, clearing out the green algae and fixing the peeling paint after a $15 million taxpayer-funded renovation. The president has blamed the peeling paint on vandals, tonight calling on U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro to revisit the charges that Pirro dropped earlier this week, declaring the damage was due to a botched installation, not vandalism. Today, visitors spotting these signs, warning the work may temporarily discolor the water as the pipes are cleaned out.
And Rachel Scott joins us now. Rachel, what's the cost of these projects at the White House and the reflecting pool?
Yeah, and Stephanie, they're really all starting to add up. So let's start with the reflecting pool renovations. Those will cost about $15 million in taxpayer money. The White House ballroom, an estimated $400 million. But renovating the entire East Wing of the White House could cost even more than that. And that will be paid for in a combination of private donations and also taxpayer dollars, staff.
Rachel Scott reporting from the White House. Rachel, thank you. Todd Blanche is edging closer to being confirmed as Attorney General after Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy announced today he would support Blanche's nomination despite reservations about what he believes is the political weaponization of the Justice Department. We're joined by Jay O'Brien, who's been following the latest developments. Jay, can you tell us why Cassidy decided to vote yes?
Yes, Stephanie, and it was critical because Todd Blanche's confirmation was really hanging in the balance after two Republican senators, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, came out against him. They said they were concerned about possible weaponization of the Department of Justice, concerned about Blanche's approval of a $1.8 billion fund that's now defunct but could have paid out claims to January 6th rioters, and a laundry list of other issues from the Epstein files to an IRS immunity deal that the president got. So because of those two possible no votes, all eyes were on Cassidy. He stepped out onto the Senate floor today saying that he is a yes on Todd Blanche, saying that Blanche is, quote, not perfect, but he's better than the alternatives. And because of Cassidy, it now puts Todd Blanche, the president's former personal lawyer, on track to be confirmed as the next Attorney General. Stephanie.
And Jay, when do we expect a full vote to take place?
It could be as soon as tonight. The timing is still somewhat in flux. The Senate has to come to a timing agreement here, and there's other legislation ahead of this Blanche confirmation vote. But if all the votes hold, if and when the Senate does vote, Todd Blanche will be confirmed.
All right, Jay, thanks so much. The U.S. Senate has approved new sanctions on Russia for its war with Ukraine. The bill will target Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers, authorize new tariffs, and also extend sanctions on Iran, which had been set to expire. The bill was named for the late Senator Lindsey Graham. Darlene Graham, who was appointed to fill the vacancy left by her brother, gavelled down the vote. She is also running for a full term, but first must win the South Carolina Republican Senate primary on Tuesday. The sanctions bill will now head to the House. Now to the latest on the war with Iran. Today, Iran has agreed to a general framework of a deal with Oman to open the Strait of Hormuz to some ships. The deal is expected to give Iran control of the ships that pass through the strait. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan signed a joint defense agreement stating that the countries will come to each other's defense if any one of them are attacked, similar to NATO's Article 5. For more, let's turn to ABC News national security and defense contributor Mick Mulroy to talk more about this. Mick, great to see you. What do we know about this deal between Iran and Oman, and where does this leave the United States?
Well, it does look like they've agreed to have the ships come in through the Iranian route and then exit through the Omani route. But of course, the international waterway is in the middle. So it's unclear how that is going to be the case. There is mines, of course, in the international route, so perhaps that needs to be cleared. But ultimately, it sounds like Iran is not interested at all in conceding its sovereignty over the strait, their claimed sovereignty over the strait. It is an international waterway, and they're going to charge fees for it. So this is not what the United States wants to see. It's not what the world would want to see, because, of course, that means everything coming out of the Strait of Hormuz would be more costly. That cost, of course, would be passed down to the consumer, whether it's energy or anything that's transported by something that uses energy. So this is not, I think, in the interest of the United States, the region, or the world.
All while the war is now in its 6th month and a peace deal is still elusive, what sort of path forward is there for the Trump administration if the terms of this deal are not suitable for the United States? And do you anticipate another military offensive?
There could be. The president certainly has talked about it and threatened it. The real question does come down to the defensive interceptor. And that's what the concern is. It's concern that we start this, of course, Iran can counterattack. And when they do, we have to have the ability to defend ourselves in our locations around the Middle East, and our partners and allies in the Middle East want to have the capacity to defend themselves.
And on the topic of defense capabilities, yesterday we reported on a shortage of U.S. missiles and missile defense systems. Are you satisfied with the information that is being publicly released by the Pentagon regarding our weapons supplies?
So, of course, the Pentagon, the U.S. military, any military does not want to talk about any vulnerabilities they have. But, there's been many think tanks, and quite frankly, we can simply see how much is being expended. And therefore, the concern is real. And right now, it would take years for us to replenish what we have already lost. That said, it's clear to me that the Pentagon is trying to address this. They've pushed the manufacturers of these key weapons systems to quadruple their output of these interceptors. And there's a lot underway right now to try to come up with low-cost alternatives to these multi-million-dollar missiles, because right now Iran is launching, drones that are around $10,000, and it's being intercepted by missiles that are over $1 million, and that simply by the math won't work long-term. So we need to address this. It's been an issue, of course, not just in the current administration, but many in the past. We need to address this so that does not stay the case. This is a regional war against a mediocre military, and we're having this level of issues. If this was a war between a near-peer competitor like China, this would be a major, major issue the U.S. needs to address.
Right. And the current administration and Pentagon facing many questions about the state of the military's arsenal. Mick, thank you so much for your time and insights. Appreciate it. Social media giant Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, is vowing to appeal a $567 million penalty in New Mexico. The landmark lawsuit found the company's platforms fueled a youth mental health crisis in that state and purposely used app features to keep teens scrolling. Elizabeth Schulze has the details.
Tonight, a massive legal setback for the company behind Instagram and Facebook. A New Mexico judge ordering Meta to pay $567 million in penalties and make changes to its apps, saying they harm children's mental health.
Now they must pay the price for the choice that they made to put profits over children's safety.
The judge ruling for users under age 18, Meta must eliminate push notifications at night and during school hours, hide like counts, add safeguards for AI chatbots, and put new time limits on the apps, no more than 90 hours per month. Tammy Rodriguez says her daughter Selena got addicted to Instagram and developed depression and took her own life at age 11. Her mom now one of thousands of other lawsuits filed against social media platforms.
I'm doing it to save other kids' lives. I don't want another parent to have to feel what I feel every day when I wake up. And I go home after work and the house is quiet and we don't have that loudness, and that's who I'm doing it for.
Meta says it will appeal the ruling, adding it works hard to keep people safe on its platforms. Stephanie?
Our thanks to Elizabeth Schulze for that report. To help us better understand the link between social media and youth mental health, we're joined by Dr. Megan Moreno, professor at the University of Wisconsin, who is currently studying social media's impact. Dr. Moreno, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. This lawsuit concluded that Meta's social media platforms are fueling a youth mental health crisis. Can you help us understand the link between using these apps and mental health?
There's been a lot of concern about how frictionless the environment of social media is, meaning for youth, when they're engaging with these apps, there's not a lot of prompts or ways to control their use or prompts that ask them to stop. So that frictionless environment is thought to be really challenging for youth. And youth themselves have asked to have platforms change their design to help them be able to have more balanced use.
Is the mental health impact related to the content these young people are engaging with, or is it the length of time they spend on these apps? I would imagine it's a mix of both, no?
It is absolutely a mix of both. And it also varies by that individual and whether or not that individual has a strong support system offline to try to help them with the experiences they're having online. And that's what's made it a somewhat challenging environment to understand is it the content? Is it the length? Is it different design elements of the platform that make it more challenging?
And Doctor, you've been studying the effects social media has on youth brain development for the past 2 years. What made you want to study this?
We know that these platforms are really important and integral to the lives of youth, and youth engage with social media for social reasons, for emotional reasons, and for very practical and functional reasons. Okay, we know these platforms are so important. How do we make them safe for youth?
And it can be really tricky when trying to handle just this new realm with technology and phones and cell phones and having kids. I have 2 boys, 15 and 11. Their friends have phones and social media. They do not. So obviously they feel a little left out, but it is so hard to just manage that world. What can these social media companies do to help mitigate some of these negative effects?
There are a few ways that we have heard that platforms can be made more safe. That includes things like default safety, so that youth, whenever they start a platform, the default setting is that it is private and that adults can't contact them. Another design element that youth have asked for is to have more prompts and more limitations put on their social media use, particularly during school days and late at night.
And also adding some sort of tool where you can't just hit the ignore button and then continue to use the app, because that does exist. For parents who are concerned, who may have kids getting closer to that age where they are allowed to use social media, or parents of children who are already on social media, what should they know as they navigate their children's social media usage and their mental health?
I think what we have seen is that to truly make social media a safe environment, we absolutely need tech companies to design that environment better. At the same time, we know that in terms of teaching youth to navigate that environment and to have positive connecting experiences, that parents are really integral. So showing up for those conversations with your youth, having curiosity, what are they doing? What are they seeing? It's not just about the amount of time, it's about the content and what sort of interactions they're having, and helping them to problem solve when issues come up, because they will.
Really good advice. Dr. Moreno, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
There was a deadly school shooting in Thailand today. Multiple staff and teachers were killed, with children forced to take cover in their classrooms. Here's Britt Clennett.
Tonight, terrifying video posted to social media capturing the moment a student opened fire on his classmates and teachers at a high school near Bangkok, Thailand. Shots ringing out as people scramble for cover, the shooter moving down the hallway and around a corner. Inside a classroom, these barricaded students taking cover under their desks. trying to stay silent, at one point seen huddled together, comforting each other. Police say the shooter was 14 years old and targeted the school in what they called a premeditated attack, killing 5 staff members and injuring more than 30 other people. The shooter taking his own life at the school, officials say he still had more than 30 rounds of ammunition on him. Police later finding his 2 grandparents also dead from gunshot wounds at the family home, saying the teen appears to have killed them before going on the rampage at the school, and that the handgun he used was registered to his grandfather.
We don't know how this child got access to the gun.
Stephanie, this is Thailand's second deadly school shooting this year, and the Prime Minister, he is vowing to propose stricter new gun laws. Stephanie?
Britt, thank you. Tonight, there's an urgent manhunt happening outside Albany, New York. Police are looking for a suspect accused of killing his father, then setting his home on fire to cover it up. Here's Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, the urgent manhunt north of New York City for this man suspected of killing his father and setting fire to his home. 30-year-old Thomas Ryan is considered armed and dangerous after law enforcement sources told ABC News he set fire to his father Robert Ryan's home in Greenville, New York, to cover up his murder. These surveillance images appear to show the suspect carrying chopped wood into the home, then fleeing soon after.
I have a 2-story ranch. Fire in the basement and the first floor.
Law enforcement sources told ABC News 70-year-old Robert Ryan was found dead inside. New York State Police said his son was seen in the area in a black T-shirt and black sweatpants driving this gray Toyota Prius. Investigators are asking nearby homeowners to check their security cameras for images of the suspect, but if they see him, to keep their distance. The victim's daughter speaking with our station WABC.
My dad was the definition of kind and generous and steadfast.
The family here on Long Island, Stephanie, says the suspect suffers severe mental illness. They fear he could be dangerous. State police said he's known to frequent places farther in upstate New York. They want the public on alert tonight. Stephanie.
Aaron, thank you. A number of ground stops were issued at airports in the Northeast today as severe storms roll through the region. Let's turn to ABC's senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg for the weekend forecast. Hey there, Lee.
Hey, Stephanie. A rough start to the weekend for the I-95 corridor, especially into New York City. Some storms slamming the New York City area and lots of flash flood warnings over parts of New Jersey. Those storms will be leaving New York City in the early evening hours, moving across parts of Connecticut, Long Island. The severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock. We also have watches out in the Midwest. We've had several tornadoes reported over parts of Iowa. So in the Northeast, it's all about this oppressive air that's been driving these storms. Really feels tropical. The humidity will actually come down, a little reduction by the time we get into Sunday and Monday, but still pretty hot through the upcoming weekend. In the West, it's still about the fire alerts and the air quality. We continue to see gusty winds and dry conditions and no rain threat at all. So this will continue along with the unrelenting heat. Triple-digit temperatures from Sacramento to Palm Springs all the way up to Billings. At least the heat will be down a little bit in Seattle and Portland, but we're still talking about rain being weeks away. Stephanie?
All right, Lee, thanks so much. Coming up here on ABC News Live Prime, for the 3rd month in a row, the latest jobs report shows the economy lost jobs. What economists are saying about the unexpected drop. Plus, why critics accuse prediction market sites Kalshi and Polymarket of turning life and death situations into gambling. And later, a piece of American history is for sale. Actually, it's the entire house. We take you inside the boyhood home of astronaut Neil Armstrong. Welcome back. The Bureau of Labor Statistics this morning revealed the latest monthly job stats for the U.S. The new figures caught economists by surprise, showing that the economy lost rather than gained jobs. The report comes at a time when Americans say they're cutting back on spending amid economic concerns. We'll discuss it all in tonight's By the Numbers. 23,000 jobs were lost in July, according to the BLS. Quite an unexpected drop, since analysts believed that about 80,000 jobs would be added. And it wasn't just July when jobs were lost. Revised numbers now show more than 100,000 jobs were lost in May and June. One area that saw at least some growth was the manufacturing sector, where 5,000 jobs were added. The sector has been in the spotlight because bringing manufacturing jobs back to the states was among the reasons the president cited for his tariffs. Even with the number of jobs lost, the unemployment rate remains at 4.1%, a figure that's hardly budged in the past year. Nonetheless, higher grocery and gas prices have Americans worried. 41% of Americans polled last month by the AP and NORC Center for Public Affairs Research said they were concerned about being able to afford groceries over the next few months. That number way up from 24% in April. The poll also found 40% saying the cost of gas was a major source of stress, up from 27% in February. And coming up here on ABC News Live Prime, emergency teams make a dramatic hours-long rescue of an American at the South Pole. And could the secret to couples getting a good night's sleep be sleeping alone? We'll have an in-depth report on what's being called sleep divorce. Welcome back to Prime. Here's a look at the stories making headlines right now. Disturbing new videos have been released from last weekend's deadly shooting at an In-N-Out restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho. In the videos, you can see the gunman at the drive-thru firing into the restaurant, hitting an employee and 9 others. 3 people were killed. The gunman later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A federal appeals court has ordered President Trump to stop construction on his White House ballroom. The panel of judges said the project needs congressional approval. The east wing of the White House has already been demolished to make way for the $400 million project. Trump said on social media that he will appeal the ruling. New body camera video released by Miami police shows first responders rescuing a family from the water after their boat overturned in rough seas. This happened in Biscayne Bay off the coast of Miami. The Marine Patrol unit arrived to find the family treading water. The father, mother, and 2 young children were all pulled to safety. And an American suffering a medical emergency at a research facility in Antarctica has been successfully evacuated to New Zealand by Australian authorities. A rescue crew flew 5 grueling hours through dangerous winter weather conditions while the South Pole experiences 24 hours of darkness. The American is listed in serious condition. And coming up here on Prime, an earthquake strikes in the middle of a surgery. How doctors kept their patients safe. And next, could your relationship benefit from a sleep divorce? How breaking up in the bedroom could bring you and your partner closer together. Welcome back. Tonight, as more Americans are trying to get their best night's slumber, some couples are opening up about a sleep hack that lets them stretch out and rest up all alone. Welcome to the sleep divorce. Here's our Ashin Singh.
All right, guys, we're about to have our first night divorced from each other.
Lindsay and Jared Shelton have been happily married for more than 12 years. But lately, their bedtime routine looks a little different than it used to. Instead of snuggling together, they kiss goodnight and head off to separate bedrooms in what's known as a sleep divorce.
The word divorce sounds harsh, but it's just you're divorcing your sleep.
Yeah, sleep separation.
Your sleep separate. Yeah.
And Jared, were you nervous about bringing it up to Lindsay?
A little bit, yeah. Because I think a lot of people equate sleeping together with intimacy, and I didn't want her to think like we were separating emotionally or anything like that. We've got an extra bedroom now, we've got an extra bed. Let's just try it out and see how it goes for both of us.
And that first night, I was up with the light on, reading my book, I had my little show on, and then I realized I kind of like this. It's kind of fun. Okay, you guys, this is night 2 of sleep divorce. I got home late because I went out with some friends. Didn't have to sneak into my room because he's not in here. He's in his room.
Lindsay chronicling the couple's transition to sleeping apart on social media.
I'm in the bathroom, about to take a shower with some music on. Is this the life I've been missing?
Jared, what was that first night like for you? Was it weird?
Honestly, I slept so much better. I felt great the next day.
King-size beds.
And they're not alone. Other couples posting about their solo sleeping arrangements too.
Start off, my room is on the main level. His room, you have to go upstairs.
Even celebs are getting candid. Actress Kaylee Cuoco telling the Armchair Expert podcast how her fiance broached the issue.
So he's like, how do you feel if I sleep in that other room? And he goes, let's try it. Game changer.
Legendary singer and actress Bette Midler telling Entertainment Tonight this about her nearly 42-year marriage.
So what is the secret to a long, happy marriage?
Separate bedrooms, because my husband snores.
Does a so-called sleep divorce spice things up? Or could it lead to an actual divorce? Lindsay and Jared first met in college as roommates. The couple later both choosing careers as ICU travel nurses.
Clearly, you guys were able to make it work for a long amount of time, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been snoring since the first time we slept in the same bed together, but it started bothering me more the longer we were together. I'm not really sure if I can keep doing this.
Yeah, I've always had trouble sleeping, so anything wakes me up.
What did you guys do to try and get a good night's rest?
He'd try to kick the dogs out of the bed, but like one of our dogs would always get back up, which would wake him up again.
Eye mask, earplugs. I tried a couple of like breathing devices. It didn't work super well for me.
Earlier this year, they took the plunge and began sleeping separately.
It's just your sleep is not indicative of how deep your relationship is.
There's nothing magical going on. You're both unconscious beside each other.
From an emotional standpoint, was there something strange about the fact that you weren't sleeping together at night?
There's been some nights where I'm like, I want to stay in the same bed tonight, and we just do.
And you just do.
And we just do. We're like, okay, well, we'll sleep together that night.
And the question on so many minds:
how do you guys navigate intimacy when you guys are literally in separate beds?
I call it adult sleepover. You guys, guess whose bed I'm in? My man's. We have 2 beds. There's 2 options.
It's typically my place, less dog hair.
Yeah, it's typically his place.
But some of the same annoyances can return.
Somewhere around 1/3 of couples at some point will choose to sleep apart from their partners, so-called sleep divorced.
Wendy Troxel is a clinical psychologist and certified sleep specialist. She hasn't treated the couples Nightline interviewed, but says good rest is vital to healthy relationships.
A well-slept partner is a better partner. When you're well slept, you're a better communicator, you're nicer, you're less irritable.
Troxel says open and honest communication with a partner is key.
The concern that so many people have is, oh my gosh, if we choose to have a sleep divorce, that necessarily means we're headed straight to a real divorce. And that is simply not the case for most couples. But the key is how you approach the conversation about sleeping apart.
And yet sleeping apart isn't a new concept, as seen in some of television's most popular shows. Netflix's The Crown, depicting Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's separate rooms.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
The stars of I Love Lucy even banned from sharing a bed by censors in the 50s.
The reality is the stigma that we attach to sleeping apart today has not been the same throughout the course of history. But sort of post-sexual revolution, we have this very strong belief that the marital bed is how all couples should sleep.
My husband and I have separate rooms, and everybody wants to know why.
Newlyweds Kelsey Thompson and husband Chad are racking up millions of views on social media after Kelsey posted videos of their luxurious his and hers bedroom suites.
Let's compare the two, because some people on the internet are upset that his is a little bit bigger. Both have restoration hardware furniture. Both have seating areas, king-size beds, dressers. He's got his seating area, king-size bed, dresser.
We are incredibly blessed. We didn't walk into this life. It was hard earned.
The couple spending most of the day together, then each winding down in their own separate wings.
We say goodnight and we go to our sanctuaries.
I just say goodnight to my husband. Let's get ready for bed.
Alexa, prepare the bedroom. See you in 8 hours. We spend the bulk of our days together, so those few hours at night when we're sleeping, we don't even notice them.
The two have slept separately since the start of their marriage.
I'm a tosser and turner, so that gave me tremendous anxiety of thinking, am I disturbing the other person?
I shared with him that I had actually written down on a piece of paper that my partner might be open to sleeping in separate rooms down the road. And when I shared that with him, he got like really bright-eyed. It just was like, it was such a perfect fit. It was like, oh, this is awesome. It's like, I manifested this guy.
Kelsey and Chad have customized their bedrooms to optimize sleep.
I've got my bed set up exactly for me, so I've got the mattress that I love. I have a temperature control on it, the sheets that I like. Now, I also love that I have a seating area. I'll sit here and I'll read. I feel very blessed that this is all mine.
I have an organic mattress. I've got a blower that blows cool air right between the sheets to keep me cool. And I have a grounding pad, so I'm getting connection with the earth as I sleep. We're both very happy with our setups. In fact, we couldn't be happier.
In more ways than one.
There's always time for having fun. And we are newlyweds, so.
And we have a lot of bedrooms in the house.
They say sleeping apart has actually brought them closer together.
You basically have to date, you have to prioritize time together, and you just get to have a good night's sleep, which makes you show up better in all areas of your life.
You're stinky now too, huh?
As for Lindsay and Jared, they say their sleep divorce has been a marriage saver.
What has this done for y'all's relationship?
We're best friends, but then there's also time apart, and that's whenever we're going to sleep.
I think a lot of people get a little bit hung up on the symbolic parts of a relationship, that like they're your other half and they complete you, and we shouldn't complete each other. We should be two complete people that chose to do life together.
Our thanks to Ashin Singh for that report. And coming up here on ABC News Live Prime, Oscar-winning actor Michael B. Jordan's special surprise for the grandmother who hung up his picture alongside her family's portraits. And always introspective and honest, Madison Beer is pulling back the curtain and leaving behind a touch of pure pop fun. Her journey to lock it in tonight's Prime playlist.
If I were to have a Madison locket with all of the things that make up who I am inside of it, I think these songs would all be in there.
Michael B. Jordan surprises the grandmother who included him in her family photo wall. Medical staff protect their patients as an earthquake strikes in the middle of surgery. And daring advice from a 97-year-old wing walker. These stories and more in tonight's rundown. In Washington state, sheriff's deputies say they had to use a grappler device to stop a vehicle when a suspect led them on a car chase. Dashcam video shows the driver crossing into oncoming traffic and hitting several other cars. Deputies had been chasing the driver for miles at speeds of up to 80 miles per hour and were able to stop the vehicle before anyone was hurt. Officials say the driver was reported missing and possibly experiencing a mental health crisis. She was arrested and taken to a local hospital for care. A few small steps in this home led to a giant leap for mankind. Neil Armstrong's childhood home in Ohio is up for sale, listed for $430,000. For nearly 40 years, a retired history teacher has preserved the history within these walls. Perfectly intact is Armstrong's bedroom, where he launched model airplanes out the window before getting his pilot's license at just 16 years old. The home isn't legally protected from alterations, but the retired teacher is optimistic about future caretakers.
It's time to let somebody else have the opportunity to be as blessed with it as I've been, and to take care of it and keep it as a part of history.
Prediction market sites Kalshi and Polymarket are allowing users to bet on clinical trials and whether the FDA will approve new medications. Critics accuse the platform of turning life and death situations into gambling. Kalshi claims the bets will be a new source of information for investors about the latest drugs or trials that show promise. Prediction markets have already faced public scrutiny for allowing people to place bets on real-life tragedies. Just last year, Polymarket accepted more than $1.2 million in wagers on the devastating wildfires in Los Angeles.
Why, hello, Michael.
Sinners actor Michael B. Jordan surprised 89-year-old Mary Story of Oklahoma with a call of a lifetime. The grandmother went viral after her granddaughter shared a video showing the famous actor's picture on the wall alongside family portraits. Jordan also sent a special gift to his newfound family member, which included jewelry featuring an amethyst, Story's birthstone.
Thanks for including me in the collage and the family pictures. I appreciate that.
Doctors quickly clung onto a patient as a 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit their hospital in Japan. The surgeons were performing an abdominal surgery as the room began violently shaking. 3 other surgeries were also taking place during the powerful quake, and the hospital said all operations were performed successfully. Soaring across blue skies, 97-year-old Betty Bramage broke the record for being the oldest female wing walker. She broke her own record set 4 years ago, but this time around, she flew over the sky as a stroke survivor. During this flight, she raised funds for the stroke unit at the hospital that cared for her. Betty told reporters, "We pass through this world but once, and if there's any good we can do it now." In her latest offering, Madison Beer is pulling back the curtain, giving listeners a closer look at a softer side laced with introspective longing without losing moments of pure pop fun. Earlier this year, Madison released her 3rd studio album, Lock It. The album reached Billboard's top 10, helping her stake her claim in the pop world. All of this as Beer enjoys a very engaged summer after revealing Los Angeles quarterback Justin Herbert popped the question. Our Roxy Diaz sat down with the 26-year-old to talk about this new chapter and to reflect back on the journey that brought her to today in tonight's Prime playlist.
Can't believe it ends this way. Thought you'd always stay.
Soft but powerful, introspective and honest. Vulnerability woven into melody.
Wanted to be with you. Wanted to make it through.
It's been a slow burn to the top for platinum-selling singer-songwriter Madison Beer, who is bringing uncompromising authenticity to her 3rd studio album, Lock It.
I know I should be bitter, but baby, right now I'm bittersweet.
Madison Beer's career began at home in a makeshift studio with a camera and a microphone.
My love has come along.
At just 13 years old, Madison uploaded a cover of Etta James' hit, At Last. When you posted that YouTube video, what were you thinking? And what was your family thinking when you're like, oh, I'm gonna just do this for fun and see where it goes?
My dad, quite literally every single day, from as early as I can remember, would videotape me singing. With the YouTube video, they kind of just were like, do your thing.
The cover caught the attention of pop superstar Justin Bieber, who reshared the video and catapulted Madison into the spotlight overnight. And with her 2013 debut single, Melodies, she emerged as a force in pop. Beer followed her early career success with her debut 2018 EP, As She Pleases, featuring the single, Dead.
If you say you can't live without me, then why aren't you dead yet?
That marked a turning point in your career. What did you feel during that project and, coming out for the first time and just steering your own sound?
I just wanted to make a little EP. I had been, at this point, I think I had already been dropped from my label, so I was like, I'm gonna just do this as I please, and that's why I named it As She Pleases.
Beer's debut album, Life Support, came in 2021, featuring the single Effortlessly, which landed her a spot on the Billboard 200.
So I hold my breath to breathe. Hurt me so I feel. Used to do these things so effortlessly.
Take me back to that time and what made it so vulnerable.
I like to be as real as I can be and share with my fans and my audience and whoever's listening what I'm going through, and at that time, that was really what I was going through.
Her second studio album, Silence Between Songs, dropped in 2023. The single, Make You Mine, Grammy nominated in the Best Dance Pop Recording category. Madison later embarked on her global The Spinning Tour, which influenced her latest and third studio album, Lock It. Why Lock It?
I loved the name Lock It for a really long time. I think that it's very symbolic of a lot of things. I feel like it's feminine, it's dainty, but it also can hold whatever you want in it. And then the more I started making the album, and it kind of turned into this heartbreak, emotional fan relationship, self-doubt, like all of these things in one place. I'm like, this is what's in my locket. You know, if I were to have a Madison locket with all of the things that make up who I am inside of it, I think these songs would all be in there.
Inside Locket is Bittersweet, a song about ending a chapter of love and finding the peace to let go. Also featured on Locket, Yes Baby. Both singles have marked major milestones for Madison, with Yes Baby topping Billboard's U.S. Dance Radio chart and Bittersweet becoming Beer's fastest top 40 radio entry and Billboard Hot 100 debut. Following their chart-topping success, the songs were performed at the iconic Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Think I have to go, walking all alone. Hate to see it all go down the drain.
Tell me about getting your wings.
They were so beautiful, and it's just something that like I grew up watching and I was such a fan of.
And what are some of the fun things that are on your vision board?
My biggest thing is to just continue to maintain this level of happiness and healthiness regarding my relationship to my artist project, and not tethering too much of my self-worth to numbers and charts and sold out tours or Grammys. I think that all those things are cool, but I want to feel happy at the end of the day with or without those things, and to me that's the biggest indicator of true success. And so that is my biggest thing with the biggest pin in it on my board, is just to be happy no matter what happens.
That's a solid vision board. Our thanks to Roxy Diaz. And that's our show for this hour. I'm Stephanie Ramos. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thank you so much for streaming with us.